By now, you have probably seen this man. The left-wing cable outlets pay him big bucks to bash the president. His name, of course, is John Brennan. He is Barack Obama's former CIA director, and I believe he will have a tremendous amount of influence over the Biden administration if we get there. To put it bluntly, he is bad news. And let me be clear about this. John Brennan is a danger to our republic. He is not just an angry, bitter swamp dweller. Brennan is vindictive, like a viper. He is one of the key figures in weaponizing the federal government against President Trump. He continues to push the debunked Russian collusion hoax, a hoax that all the evidence appears to point to Brennan and the CIA, as it now looks like the CIA fabricated the contacts and interactions that was reported as, quote, suspicious to the FBI just to derail then candidate Trump. It all turned out to be made up nonsense. Nonsense Brennan refuses to give up on as he spreads even more outrageous propaganda aimed at discrediting and even destroying President Trump and his reputation as the one president who kept us safe.
For example, he could use the U.S. military in some type of domestic security role, or he could try to initiate something overseas as a way to, again, exact his last ounce of vengeance, I think, on his successor, Joe Biden.
Now, all of that is a complete made-up farce, but it is eerily prophetic. It is Joe Biden, under the quiet direction of John Brennan, that will soon be empowering our enemies like Iran and China. Joe Biden is embracing Brennan, a man who brazenly lies to Congress, the courts, and of course the public. It's why I know our enemies are cheering Joe Biden on right now. Even Iranian President Hassan Rouhani declared today that he has, quote, no doubt a Biden administration will rejoin the Iran nuclear deal and remove sanctions on Iran's fragile economy. Rouhani insists that under Joe Biden, the U.S. will, another quote here, bow down to Iran. And sadly, I have no doubt that he is right. Just listen to Senator Kamala Harris talk about the threats we face according to her.
We're in the midst of 4 existential crises. A pandemic, a recession, a long overdue reckoning on racial injustice, and of course the climate crisis.
Not one mention there of China, Iran, or Russia. Instead, she concludes with the phoniest of all phony crises on the Biden plate, the climate crisis, as they dub it, an excuse to institute more oppressive regulations and socialist-style initiatives. That's their biggest threat to the nation? Give me a break. When none of that will matter. None of it if we are all blown off the face of the earth. Now, think about what President Trump has done in the Middle East. He not only slowed Iran's path to a nuclear warhead, but he severely limited its ability to sponsor terrorist acts across the globe. President Trump took out one of the worst, most evil terrorists the world had to offer, the Iranian general Qasem Soleimani. And when most likely Israel took out Iran's top nuclear scientist last month, causing a devastating blow to Iran's quest for nukes, John Brennan called it, ready, a, quote, criminal act and highly reckless. Well, Senator Ted Cruz responded with his own tweet saying it's bizarre to see a former head of the CIA consistently side with Iranian zealots who chant death to America. Well, Joe Biden's buddy, John Brennan, as the CIA director, illegally went after more law-abiding Americans, like the president, like General Michael Flynn, with such ferociousness, while at the same time, he coddled and even defended our enemies. This, folks, is the kind of foreign policy you will get under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and it will put us all in danger.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.